All right, guys. So this is video number 3. So we're gonna talk about the nutrition stuff a little bit here. All right. So what I want to touch bases on is a couple things here. So let's start off with kind of where do we go from here with the food. So one of the biggest things that I will tell you guys that is a really good idea and concept to kind of follow is this now. All right. So let's say I call it the rule of 21 when it comes to food. Um, Ideally, 3 meals a day. Okay, 7 days a week. So we have 21 meals. All right. So um, if we can basically have 4 bad meals, and by bad meals or bad mistakes, I consider those to be missing food, okay, or eating something that is not part of our lifestyle regimen, then 4 out of 21, that's a pretty good score, especially if we can space it out through the entire week. You know, the closer we get to 21, the better and the faster those results may come, or the better those results may stay. But a rule of 21 is something that I've always adapted with a lot of people that are trying to maintain and stay in this certain lifestyle, okay? If you're adding that rule with the routine of workouts like you're supposed to, in the right intensity and the right workouts, you're good to go. Okay, now once again, as we want to change and we want to get some manipulation of our body, our physique can feel different, that's where we start implementing a little more structure and a little more strictness to our program, okay, whether it's the workouts or the food, all right, and we change the intensity of those things. Then we start to see the results, and then we say, okay, that's where I like it, so now I'm going to maintain again. I want to go a little bit more, strict, maintain, and we kind of go through that cycle a little bit, all right, to where we can make it more lifestyle related. Okay, so a lot of you guys have now learned at this point, so the 21. So rule of 21, let's take that concept, and then let's also then think about, okay, what does my body respond to the best, all right? So I'm a no-carb person or I am a carb person. That's literally where most of you guys fall, all right? Some of you guys can run the no carbs for 3 days and you can feel great. Some of you guys can run the no carbs once, and after that you're like, hey, I'm pretty lethargic and I've got to get back to some carbs, all right? So whatever that may be for you, that's the concept and the thought that we want to use on a daily basis, all right? Whether we're going out to eat with friends, we're going to work, we have a work event, things of that nature. Know your strengths, know areas that you actually, and you know about. So at this point, most of you guys know what what carbs are and what things are the best for you, okay? So that rule of 21 basically applies. If I say, hey, Monday is my no carb day, I'm going to go through my whole entire day and I'm not going to have any carbs. I mean, I'm doing great. Lunch comes around and I'm getting ready to go out to eat, and I'm at a lunch event for work, and somebody grabs me and says, hey, let's go eat, and they drag me to some place that is no way I can do no carbs for some reason, and I want to be eating some carbs. Well, that's one, and I'm going to check myself off as, okay, that's one of my 4. So if you'll keep that concept and that idea, you guys will be perfectly fine. You won't have a huge weight fluctuation. You won't have a huge bunch of gains. You won't lose all the gains that you have now, all right? So follow that mentality, and you will be completely fine on maintaining the results that you have now. So now, going off of that, what food items, Grant, are we supposed to eat? I'm not doing tilapia anymore. I'm so done with it. That's fine. Most of you guys are going to be done with tilapia. Here's the thing I would tell you. Start reintroducing foods back into your program. And what I always tell people is if I reintroduce a food item, red meat, for instance. A couple people have talked to me about red meat. If you reintroduce red meat back into your program and you instantly feel like your stomach's bloated and you feel distended and you feel like your stomach's upset, I'm going to tell you that probably red meat for you is probably not that great of an idea to introduce it a lot. So I don't introduce red meat into my system a whole lot just because I don't function very well for red meat. But I do like red meat. I do enjoy a steak every now and then, but it's not very often. Chicken, turkey, those are my go-tos on my meat. I do a little bit of pork, not much, but for the most part, the chicken and the turkey is kind of my go-to for my meats. So if you reintroduce these items back into your program at the right rate, you can determine on what those things are that are the best for you. I don't like fish at all, so I just don't introduce it in my program whenever I'm eating. So find that rule of 21. Know your no days. Okay. So here's the thing that we're going to add in. We're going to add in what is considered a cheat day. Okay. So now if you're a no day person, the max I ever want you going is 3 no days. Okay. So 3 no days in a row. After that, you need to introduce carbs in somewhere, somehow into the program. Ideally, for most of you no carb people, I would tell you do 3 no carb days, and then the 4th day would be just like a no day, except for one thing we're going to change. For breakfast, you're going to have carbs. So this is what we call a low day. Most of you guys, we didn't introduce this to anybody, but the low day is where we have carbs for breakfast, but then everything else after that is just like a no day. All right? So 3 no days, low day, and then I'm going to introduce in 2 no days. Okay? So 2 no days. So now I've got 5 days. All right, and then day number 7 is going to be my high carb day. And for many of you, this is where most people are going to like it. This is where I would add in my cheat meal. Okay? So that's the structure for most of you guys on no days. Now, for you guys that are carb-based people, once again, I'd run probably 2 carb days in a row, and then I would then follow that with a no. Okay? So follow that with a no, and then maybe another 2 no carb days, or another 2 carb days. All right? So we're going 2 carbs, 1 no, 2 carbs. Okay? And then I'm going to add in 1 no, and then I'll go back to my high day. Okay? So for some of you guys, that'll be a pretty good structure. For most of you guys, that'll be kind of where you need to be. Once again, as you add in these days, you're able to see, hey, how's my body responding? Am I starting to go up in weight? And you're starting to go up in weight, very, very easy thing. I'm going to run a no day, Grant, and I'm going to run 2 of them in a row, see what happens. Very common that if I start having any fluctuations or gains in any areas that I don't want, I will add in another no day, see what happens, and change the intensity of my eating, okay? Or if I look at my workouts and I say, you know what, I've missed 3 workouts in a row, I need to change the intensity of my workout. I just need to get to the gym. So finding those areas and those balances are going to be super important, okay? So how does that cheat meal look? What does those foods look like? Check out video number 4 here, and I'll be able to tell you some of those food items.